As the knee, did the gun, we did rectus intermedius, so you're keeping up, we're doing a great job. So we did sartorius palm, pes serenus, TFL is where we're at. Man, killing it. Good job, Alana. All right. So on the iliac crest here, I can feel the crest on the side of the body. I can follow it up to the ASIS, and the TFL is attaching just posterior to the ASIS, just inferior to the iliac crest. So if I want to come right behind that, just posterior / lateral to the ASIS, I can do a little plus minus outside that iliac crest for the superior-most iliac attachments. If I continue that around, then I'm getting the IT band attachments, which we did face down previously. Also with IT band, we palpated this inferiorly. You find the fibular head, come up a little bit, you're on the lateral IT and stripping there. We talked about frictioning to draw some blood through into the IT band area, but also into that vastus lateralis, that lateral quadricep that often is in pain because the IT band's over it. That heat has a nice numbing effect. Windshield wiper, point the elbow directly into the table. This is the windshield wiper. I don't know why they call it this. Two out of my 3 vehicles don't have windshield wipers, so. There we go. On the glutes, it's the queen way. To work the belly of TFL, I got to make sure I'm in the right position. So I'm behind ASIS, just below the iliac crest. I soft fist press directly in to pin the muscle. Then I shift my body weight inferiorly to stretch it. It's not complicated, but it works pretty well. As long as you're in that right spot. Press in. Shift down. I feel like there's a technique we kind of did like this before too.
It's kind of the same thing. I feel like when you're doing the crowbar stuff too. You're just planting and leading your motion. So kind of do it all in following motion.
Windshield wiper, fingertip glide, right on. Pectineal line. Good job. Okay. So for the medial thigh. We're going to go ahead and go back to our motorcycle group. There. Cute. All right, so this guy, the bolster really helps because you can roll the thigh out and rest it on there. I've also rested on my own knee. I always use the sheet to keep the lotion off my thigh. Do make sure you kind of know that there's at least a solid enough bolster of some sort that you're not going to press their thigh out so much that it stresses their hips. Some people have really good mobility here, and some people do not. And we don't want to, cause hip pain by pressing their thigh out farther than is the good range of motion of them. So
if they don't have good range of motion, what do you do?
Bigger bolsters.
Okay.
Or my knee is more solid; it won't collapse as much.
Gotcha.
You're going to be okay with the bolster. That mobility.
I mean, I think so. Guess we'll find out.
Let me know. Okay. So you guys have seen at the gym they have that one really awkward machine where you have to squeeze your legs together, and for some reason it's always facing towards the whole gym. That's for these muscles right here, the adductor machine. And that machine, I suggest you avoid it. Not only is it socially awkward, for most people it's not really mechanically advantageous. If you ever watch any movies with Van Damme, he would always end up walking out onto some sort of raft, and it would split through the middle, and his legs would come apart, and he'd have to pull the raft back together. Most people don't find themselves in those situations where the sidewalk just splits in half. These muscles, they naturally maintain a certain amount of tone just by balancing. If you want to build these up, just practice balancing on one leg. That's what the biggest factor is helping you to balance and maintain your hip position. Okay. Solenopetrissage. I start off
No wonder
with just
I don't
palmar
have good
glide,
balance.
increasing pressure. I'm going to go ahead and bolster the thigh and then come in and do a little more pressure. How's that?
It is probably my max. I was thinking, I guess when you ski and if you're really bad at 1st
Mhm.
you end up.
No, yeah. If you end up going like a ski resort or something, then this would be a lot. People that do like moguls, like they're doing a lot of side to side leg motion. So I guess if you live down near Perfect North or Paoli. Okay. So notice all that was really broad, just kind of warming up the tissue. Then we start to go more specific because there are a lot of little muscles in here. First of all, we're going to go ahead and palpate. Here I am on my tibia. I can feel the joint capsule. There's the femur. And I'm going to come up with just above that, get to my adductor tubercle, and then you don't feel any shooting pain down your leg.
Nope.
Okay. You want to make sure, Nikki, you felt those earlier. You want to make sure you don't there, because remember, the reason there's a gap there is because it's a passageway for blood vessels and nerves. We want to make sure that when we're palpating there, we're not hitting the nerve that's passing through to the patellar space and engaging in shooting pain. Going in, I'm going to do some deeper fingertip glide. If you don't want to do fingertips, you could do something else. You could do some Russian. Russian still though broad. I'm trying to get more specific. There we go. So now, just like we did on the forearms, I'm just doing slow stripping, feeling for inconsistencies in the muscle. This muscle, it seems like this is one big muscle that's getting thicker. You all know now that it's not that way. You ever see this muscle like bulging out when somebody's doing that machine? It looks like it's just like a small triangle that slowly gets thicker. It's getting thicker because more and more muscles are being added as it gets closer to the pelvis. But much like we treated the forearm, there were a lot of muscles in there. We treated them as two groups, either flexors or extensors. Here we're treating the adductor group. So I'm just using fingertips supported for, this maximizes my sensitivity, but also strong hands, and I can glide along as I feel little changes in density of the tissue. If I do find one, I stop, I can press, give it a little friction. If you see any of the future cellulite in here, you probably don't want to tell them about that. Unless you decide you're marketing some sort of fascial release cellulite prevention therapy, then tell them all about it. So would you like me to take a quick picture on your phone so you can see it? Take the picture on their phone. Don't offer to take pictures of their cellulite thighs on your phone, okay? They're not going to take that the right way. All right. Then coming up, it's going to increase, and we're going to run through that same line, but now we're going into thumbs. Is this still about the right pressure for you?
We are about to cross the threshold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So notice, I mean, I could be using, I'd say I'm at about 10% of my possible strength here. I didn't go to thumbs because I'm trying to apply more pressure. I'm just becoming more specific. I'm going along one heavy line where I can still, my thumbs give me good palpation ability. Come back, choose a new line, just like we did on the forearms. We did multiple lines to cover the muscles. Doing the same things here. As the muscle gets thicker at the top, it requires more than one line to complete. Okay. And we've talked about before, you can go on, you can get some advanced certifications to work all through the inferior pelvic attachments. And a lot of those are very helpful, very valid, especially for very specific sports, or, fertility type stuff. One thing that we can very easily do, though, is we're going to go ahead and work the superior pelvic attachments. I'm going to go ahead and
Andre? Okay.
So you said it's a certain certification that you get?
Well, no, there are lots of certification training programs that do specialize